Hi, welcome to Autism Part 2. I'm Winston, and yes, I do have autism, so I can understand people who have this condition. So I've been reading a book, um, Older Adults and Autism Spectrum Conditions, and so that's been a very interesting book for me to start to read. I haven't read much of it, but I have read some. Now I'm going to give my personal opinion on what autism or what is actually caused by. Now, my psychologist that diagnosed me believes that it's genetic, it's hereditary. But I'm not sure whether I totally believe that, but that's probably what the case is. Also, I will mention something that is controversial. This is my opinion and the opinion of many people. I believe vaccinations cause a major role in causing autism, because the reason for this is that as children young as 3 or even 2 can be diagnosed with autism. So often a lot of babies are vaccinated across Australia, around the world, and I do believe that the materials in these vaccinations needs to be looked at, like what Trump is mentioning and talking about currently, that autism, he wants it to be looked at, find out what the causes are, what it's from, and finding out why this is. So John F. Kennedy Jr. in America, he believes the same thing as I do, that vaccinations are what is causing autism for a lot of people. Maybe not everyone, but I believe for a majority of cases. So I'm speaking for myself here. I have struggled through school. I battled with maths and English. I was bullied and bashed right through primary school and secondary school. So a lot of trauma, I believe, can cause autism and a lot of mental health type of conditions. So I believe vaccinations actually cause damage to the brain right from when a child or a toddler is very young. And so I've been to various naturopaths and spent lots of money trying to get my health to a point where I can function. So I take SAMI, and I've been taking that for 7 years, not knowing that I had autism until very recently. So this is my opinion, and I strongly believe it. There will be people who will not accept this theory or belief, but I personally have investigated things my entire life and have sought help from people that are very knowledgeable, who I will not mention for privacy reasons. So I think we need to look at what the causes are. A lot of these major illnesses and conditions or disabilities, or whatever you want to call it. And I think people should have a choice. We shouldn't be controlled or pressured into things that we don't feel comfortable with. For instance, you don't force someone to drink alcohol or smoke or use drugs or gamble. Sometimes people are encouraged to do these things by crazy people. And the same goes for Big Pharma. Big Pharma have got away with far too much for so long, and they've become very rich as a result of that, which is unfair to people that have been damaged by their practices. And these practices have been going on for a long time. Now, a lot of people are realizing and seeing through what the reasons are, or causes of various different conditions. So I like to give my thoughts and opinion here on YouTube and not hold back and keep these ideas or thoughts to myself. I really think that we should be, as people, stand up for what we believe, and if people don't accept that or like that, that's their own problem. So there have been a lot of studies on vaccinations, and I believe it's very possible that damages can occur from vaccinations, particularly for autism, and that has been proved by certain scientific literature, by Canadian studies, and various different documents. And there are actually groups of people that are standing up against being forced and pressured into these medical procedures that are not natural and are not proven by correct science. By it has been a false claim for about 200 years that vaccinations just suddenly protect people and they don't have the illness, whereas all these vaccinations have caused so many diseases. And so it's actually quite emotionally disturbing that people have had to suffer for so long and not realizing what's causing their conditions and problems. So for me personally, I was born in a hospital, of course, and my parents didn't know about all these types of things when I was born or when I was an infant or toddler. So I had injections in the left and right shoulder, vaccinations of all the types that were available at that time. And for some people, they don't have a reaction or any effects, or not affected by vaccinations. So for them, it would be difficult for them to believe or accept that there's anything wrong with vaccination itself. We have to remember that vaccinations are a man-made material with toxic materials of all kinds, and have even caused death to so many people, children, young people, adults, you name it. And their lives have been damaged and ruined as a result of medical people that may not have realised what they're doing. But of course, we know it's all controlled by Big Pharma. And yes, I do agree with the Republican Party in America that all these vaccinations and medical drugs, medicines need to be evaluated, tested, and proven for their safety, and that people can then have faith in the medical system. Because, as we know, the medical system is in crisis in many countries. And so I personally am a Trump and Republican supporter, and also support One Nation because they are honest, strong, and keen to get Australia back in order. And pretty much of the same mindset as the Trump Republican Party. So that's what I hope that can be implemented here in Australia, the same as America. with our medical system needs to be the same as America in finding out what is causing so many problems to families and children, and find solutions, find the causes, and most importantly, we need to prevent and educate people for their health, to eat healthy, to live an active lifestyle, so that they can be truly happy as families and as people. So this is what I think, and I strongly believe, and I will always believe this because of all the research and time and information that I've gathered over the years. So yeah, I really do believe that I was damaged personally from vaccinations to a certain extent, and believe that these vaccinations have and are doing a lot of damage to our children and young people. When you look at the statistics through our schools and education system, the child is suffering at the hands of medical people who probably know that these vaccines will cause the person damage in time, or may not even think about that at all. They're just there to be paid and do their job. And actually, the doctors and nurses, it's not actually their fault. It's the medical system that we have that is run by the government that is not working for people like it should. We have so many people ending up in hospital. I know I was on medication, and I was ending up in hospital, and I was blamed for not taking my medication, whereas the medication was wrong from a false diagnosis in the previous autism episode or documentary or video that I produced. So I would strongly recommend you to seek help and guidance in your medical situation. And yes, there are medicines that are actually helping people. I'm not anti-medications. There are medications that can help people, like blood pressure and so on. And if someone's been in a very bad accident. So yes, I'm very thankful for the ambulances and the medical people that are out there to help us. I really do think that it's up to governments and departments to make sure that all medicines are checked for their safety, and make sure that these drugs do not contain poisons of any sort. We do know that mercury and Roundup and a number of other poisons are in many of the pharmaceutical drugs. So we are not told a lot about this, so I'm being open and honest with you. I believe our government needs to be honest with us as people. They are our servants, and they need to be acting and doing what's best for their citizens that live in their country. So yes, I believe there needs to be more education on these things, and people talk about this. Be open and honest. We have freedom of speech. Let's use it. I don't believe in all this idea of misinformation and all this crazy going on, and climate change and all this other garbage that's just trying to get money out of people and scare people into thinking that they have to do this or that. So I leave these thoughts with you. For me personally, I'm sensitive to light, noise, and I enjoy routine, so the same time of doing things, and all that sort of thing. And I often think out what I'm going to wear. I don't like tight clothing. And so I met a couple of people with autism. So there are many people out there that do have this, and I feel for them because I know I have this condition. And yes, it can be very tiring. I do get tired with it. And I am thankful that I have help. So, yeah, um, often we need to have good sleep with any sort of types of conditions like this. But I personally try to live a healthy lifestyle by going to tennis and the gym, attending church, and volunteering at a school. So I do that, and soon to start a job that I'm very passionate about part-time. So yeah, I believe we all have purpose and meaning, and we are valuable. We are important. We are strong, and we have a voice. And I'm really excited, looking forward to the Republican Party investigating autism, because I know I have the condition, and I'm very excited to find out what the results will be. But I strongly believe, like JF Kennedy Jr., that vaccinations are a major key role in causing an autism epidemic that is widespread across America and Australia and basically around the world. A lot of people are being diagnosed with this condition now, and so why do so many people with this makes you wonder and think about what's causing it. Why are so many people have this condition? What can be helped? What medical breakthroughs are there for people? Is there anything that can help the condition? And an understanding of this condition. I think there are a lot of videos on YouTube, which is excellent, that I have actually watched myself and decided that perhaps I would like to do the same and do some videos. Probably not as much, but I'm trying to give my view and my honest opinion of how I feel as a person and the damages that I have from vaccinations as a baby and an infant and toddler. And my parents through school rejected me having vaccinations through school, through primary and high school, because they realised that it was all just a lie that had been perpetrated through history, that so-called vaccination was supposed to protect you from various health conditions or whatever, which we have an immune system in us. That is what fights off disease. Our immune system, given by God, is what fights off disease. So that is actually the cause of autism and heart attacks, strokes, you name it, chronic fatigue. I believe that's caused by radiation, and I do have a video on that here as well. So I hope you enjoy my videos, and I'm not in any way pointing the finger at anyone, but I do believe things need to be looked at and analysed, and let's make Australia a wonderful country again, with a great medical system, great hospitals, great schools, and a growing understanding of what autism is for today. So take care and look after each other, and feel free to make a comment. Yeah, I'll leave that now. I think that's pretty much covered what I thought of and thinking about here. And also, we don't autism people often over-explain information to people. So when we're asked questions, we tend to answer it in more detail, and I need to stop doing that because I'm telling too much personal information that I don't need to be telling people. It's not any of their business. So my thing is that we need to respect each other and have an understanding of each other and accept each other for who we are. So take care, and hope you enjoyed my video. Maybe a little bit confronting to people, but this is the honest reality, and I'm speaking the truth for those out there that do not have a voice. We need to be strong in what we believe and what we think, and people need to respect our views and our thinking and our opinion on various issues. So I respect people for their issue, and yes, I do believe that people have a choice to make about their health, and I do believe governments should be funding naturopaths, chiropractors, massage, saunas. It should all be bulk billed through Medicare, physio, all these good natural treatments that actually do work and bring healing to the body. So I'd encourage you to look at alternative medicine as something that does work. And for me personally, I've been on no medication for 7 years. And previously I was diagnosed with a condition that they told me that I'd have to take medication the rest of my life, and I've proved them wrong. I'm strong and healthy, and I've basically healed myself of my condition, I believe. I'm not totally healed. I don't believe there is a cure for autism, but I do believe there is research going on which will be able to help people with this condition. So that is basically it for today and now, and we'll see you in another video as I think of something else that can be presented.